now it's time to start chapter 12, which is the caverns. And I have to correct myself from my latest video. This is the worst level in the game. Because first of all you have to start doing this horrible platforming puzzle, which is the worst in the game by far. It took me about 20 minutes the first time I played this game to complete it, and I did that by using game packs. So as you can see, I don't like platforming puzzles very much. Anyway, this time it only took about 3.5 minutes, so that's a bit better at least. Also in this level you're going to do a huge amount of backtracking, and I really mean it. You have to go back and forth, I think it's 4 or 5 times. And maybe it doesn't sound that bad, but the problem is you have to do it in lava, and it's also against some red fiends and other stuff that I personally don't like very much. And I also tend to lose some health in the lava, which I will do this time as well, of course. And also this level has the worst mini-boss in any game, anytime, that I have played at least. He sucks and he can't hit you to save his life. Well, he hit me one time, but that was from poor concentration. And yeah, he's just tedious. Also in this level you will have to face a fire worm, which is like the electrical worms we faced in chapter 10. Only difference is that this shoots fire in a ring that you have to jump through instead of avoiding it. Other than that, he has the same moves as last time. And to end this chapter we have to face a boss that I used to know the name for, but I don't anymore. But he's like, well, he's another dragon, a fire dragon, which makes sense for the chapter, I guess. But I think they used a few too many dragons in this game. Chapter 6, chapter 10 and chapter 12. Anyway, as you can see, the platforming is almost complete, so we can get on and doing something a bit more interesting and easier to comment. Also, we'll get to it in a little while, but there is a Fian challenge that I didn't feel like playing because of the time limit on YouTube, so I only killed about 7 of them, but if you kill 60 I think we get the lives of 1,000 gods, whatever you call it. And yeah, that's very useful at this point in the game. And there we have finished the puzzle, and it's time to move on. But one of the last things I said in the previous chapter was, why do all bosses tell what you're supposed to do? And I think I have a idea on why he told this time, but still it's because he needs Rachel's blood to do it. But still I find it very annoying and very cheap not to come up with a better story than just having the big bad tell to you. Here is the Fian challenge. 60 pink and yellow Fians that you have to kill. I started my timer to see if I should try doing it, but I gave up because it would have taken about 5 minutes of the gameplay, and you really couldn't have to see that to do it, because they're not that hard, to be honest. Also, here's another diary. I'm not sure why Ryu likes to read that much, but good for him. And here is Life of the Gods and a scarab, I think. One of about 15 I missed the first time going through the game. And here's the Life of the Gods. And I'm not sure how many we have of those at this point, but anyway, it's time to take a swim after we save. And so far I played 3 hours and 42 minutes. This will be a personal record. My fastest so far is 6 hours and 20 minutes, I think. To my defense, I've never really tried to go for fastest time possible. Here's a chest and also a scarab with, yeah. I'm not sure how many we have of those at this point, but I think we have about 40 or 35, something like that. As you may have known by now, I'm not going to get all the scarabs in this game. For example, I missed 2 at the 3rd chapter, which is impossible to get after you finish it. And also I missed a few more, and I'm sorry for that. If you want to find all the scarabs, you will have to look at a different walkthrough. I'm just doing this to try and help if I can. There's a few bats, nothing you shouldn't be able to handle by now, or at the start. And now we're in the caverns. The ice caverns, to be more exact. And the first thing we have to face is red fiends. And I'll be right back. Anyway, I don't really like red fiends very much, but they're not that difficult, and they're definitely not difficult compared to what you will face if you go to the higher difficulties, which is much worse. I think that's why I like this game though. It's a real challenge and it's not cheap. If you do well, it's because you're good at it, and if you die, it's because, well, you're not good enough yet. Anyway, we're going to kill these fiends. And I have to say I did a poor job here. This is the last one, I hope. I did a really poor job this time. Anyway, there he is dead. I'm sorry for my English at the moment. Moving on, here's a chest with big elixir, I think. Yeah, Great Spirit elixir. Which I couldn't carry, sadly enough. At least it's better than hard mode where you only have 3 Great Spirit elixirs and 5 small ones. I didn't fight these fiends, yeah, pink fiends, but if you need the karma points or the yellow essence, do it. We have to go here to get a shield of vigor, I think, which is what the emperor is called, Holy Vigorian Emperor. Why his shield is here, I'm not really sure about, but I'm not complaining. Anyway, you have to use that to open a door back where the save point was, and then you have to go and collect some metal of some kind, and then you will use that, and you will go back again, and yeah, I hate this level so much. At least it's not possible to get lost in this one. Or it is, but it's much harder than getting lost in chapter 10, which I tend to do every time. Also in the next chapter we will get a true dragon sword. About time. Also, if you go to a hard mode or very hard mode, any of those, I really recommend to use a nunchuck instead of the dragon sword in the first 4 levels, because the dragon sword sucks until level 2 and